Hey everybody, I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan with PDQ.com.
It is
Q&A.
I know they named it Is it pumpkin spice Q&A today?
The pumpkin spice edition. Yes. We're trying to figure out
Gross.
what September's known for, and that's what we came up with.
How about Patch Tuesdays? I don't know.
Well, every Q&A is Patch Tuesday
That's a
edition.
good question. Yeah, the Q&A edition. So, are we going to do this?
Let's do it.
And are we keeping track today? We mentioned earlier.
Actually,
Okay,
we
so
are.
how's scores going to break down today?
Okay, so today's competition breaks down between Lex, Jordan, Shane, and Colby and the rest of the viewers. So they could make a surge and win this thing.
Okay, you got to give me odds. I mean, if we're betting on this, I need odds, guys.
Do what? Do I look like Spock from the Star Treks? No.
If
There
we're
are no
no
odds.
fair, if the Colby plus, the plus should be a negative.
Yeah, okay.
Colby plus, he can only type with one hand.
Kobe over by this much, and then okay. All right.
He can't post links.
Kobe and the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Colby and the Jacks.
Colby and the
Jacks.
Okay.
Should we do it?
All right,
Start it
let's
off.
get started.
Let's do this.
I'm going to start you off with a softball question. Why is this a pumpkin spice edition? Do I get free coffee? Sincerely, Michael V.
You know, I would say Jordan says you can go to any grocery store or gas station, and you can tell them Jordan says you get a free coffee, and run fast, see if you get out.
That's not what I said. I said all coffee is free if you're fast enough.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Can I answer this one for
I was going to say, no one has answered the actual question, so I've got to put Jake on the board now.
Yeah, so the question is, why is it Pumpkin Spice Edition? Well, because when September rolls around, it's an obligation to insert pumpkin spice into everybody's lives, whether they like it or not. Do you get free coffee? Not from us, but maybe from someone.
Like, it's all free.
You know, I like our answer better.
Yeah, first of all, that's two questions.
Yeah.
So I get 2 points?
No, I answered the second question with all coffee is free if you're fast enough.
Well, that's just kind of like a generic
I still like our
joke.
answer better.
Generical joke.
Jake gets the point. Deal with it. All right.
That's my first point I've ever gotten on PDQ&A. So,
And just like everything else in your life, it wasn't
Don't
earned.
let it go to your head, dude.
oh, wait, Jordan, what?
All right, now the real competition begins.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, is it possible to have an inventory report combine info? For example, I need a report that shows the monitor info for all the PCs. For PCs with multiple monitors, they showed up multiple times for each one. I'd prefer it show up one time with each monitor in a separate column instead of row. Sincerely, Carl F.
All right, guys, I got this one. So,
Jake's on a run. Go ahead, man.
no, I'm kidding.
All right, so a couple ways to do that. If you take a look here on the screen, if you go to reports, new report, this is going to have to be a SQL report. Now, as for a column per monitor, it's kind of like a pivot table. I would say if I were going to do it, I would do a group concatenate. I actually did look this up in SQL right here. Okay, pretty decent explanation of how to use that. That will, and then you put like a comma or a space in between each of your monitors. It will do like, computer name Guinness and then 3 monitors or however many monitors, but it'll be one column instead of 3. So any thoughts, Jordan?
Well, it looks like Colby answered this 2 years ago. He put a link in there about where he combined it, so it's a separate column. He said after 2 monitors, it might be difficult to expand. For how I would do it is if you were using the PowerShell scanner to track the monitors, the PowerShell to grab all the monitors, then you do a for each, and then for each entry you would add it to a hash table and convert it to a custom object.
You could actually do that.
That would import it back in to separate columns for each one.
We're going to the judges for this one.
Okay, I'm giving 1 point to Lex, Jordan, and Colby and the viewers.
I like it.
So that's nothing. That's a 0.
Well, the important thing is Jake didn't get a point.
That's right.
Okay,
So
there
there's
is.
still the competition.
Me and Shane both.
Yeah,
did not get a
Shane
point.
is not on the board yet.
Shane's
but
not on the board yet.
Face Shane.
No, it's okay. I to me that was cheating because I was looking at that earlier, but then when Colby threw that up there, I was like, "Hey, way to go, Colbster!"
The nice thing is I get to try and answer first.
One of the cool things is I think the group by is something that is generally overlooked. In a lot of SQL reports, the group by and the having are Very, very powerful. What you want to do in this case is you need to return all the sets, and then you do a group by with the whole set. Otherwise, if you're running it without the group by, you're trying to collate everything in a single row. So that's where you have to do like concatenate or something like that. But in this case, it looks like Colby's using group by quite a bit. I think it's fantastic.
Dude,
I think Colby
I think you're grasping for points, Shane.
Unfortunately,
No, I'm not
the
looking for
points
a point.
are-
I'm thinking that Colby should take your 2 points.
Well, actually, Colby put in there exact reason why I should lose the point. He pointed out why the PowerShell would fail if there were differing monitors. So,
Okay, your point is gone.
yeah.
Wow.
All right.
You know what, Colby? I thought we were friends. we used to hang out.
All
All
right.
right.
Should we do
Next
another
question.
Normally, I would
And
say.
well done, Marcel, for you saying use group by first.
Yes. Normally, I would say, dear Lex and Jordan, but since everyone apparently is involved, including the audience, hey, y'all, we frequently have Kerberos. The target account name is incorrect. Results come back after a scan. The results in us having... Okay, I should have pre-read this because it's worded strangely. The results have us needing to delete DNS entries even though we have aggressive scavenging turned on. Is there a way to add machines to a collection differently to help avoid this issue? J.R. Adamacher.
So he's absolutely right. It is a DNS issue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's still happening with aggressive scavenging.
We did look this up. Renzo has written an amazing article right here on this.
Yeah, so he has one article that breaks down why we might be seeing it. It looks like you've already tracked that part down. Other part is the troubleshooting, and the best solution I can see in that one is he has a scheduled task that does just flush DNS on. So even if the scavenging is there, the PDQ server might not be seeing it updating fast enough.
Yeah, now, the interesting thing, when I read this question for the first time, I was thinking Kerberos, right? That's authentication, right? Yeah. And so my first instinct was, is your authentication working? Is it actually scanning? And just to show you where you can find the information, let's say Bugs Bunny here, this machine, you can right-click and go down to select scan user, and you can see which user has been used for that scan right there. And I would try also, and this is me, beyond the DNS part, I would try just physically logging in, if you know the password for that, to try and see if that actually works too. So,
Yeah. So that particular error, it looks like it is because it found multiple entries and is just trying to
It's
log into
DNS.
the wrong computer.
Huh.
But
I still Kerberos, man.
yeah, it's a tough one without having full access to it.
Yeah.
We couldn't even recreate the error, which makes it difficult to come up with the answer. So I just look at Renzo's articles, and
Yeah.
he has some ideas that might help you clean it up.
True.
All right. Hey guys, will there ever be remote administration functionality like RSAT tools with PDQ? Sincerely, John T.
RSAT tools with PDQ. Well, here's the thing. If you load RSAT tools and are calling them locally on your console, you can build tools to do that. Let me show you. Go ahead.
Or I mean, yeah, show them that, because that's like one of
So
the
here
first
you go
tools.
to
One of the first
tools,
tools I ever built was
customize,
was to run RSAT. But I think the question may be more of a feature request of, hey, is there going to be a native RSAT functionality? If you are looking for the RSAT functionality, then it's just right there with the tool, right? But
As I say, you don't have to wait. You can just build your own, load RSAT and do it that way. That's kind of my thought.
Yeah, and if it's something where it has to be run locally, you can include everything you need for RSAT tools over, and then on the fly kind of build it up, but that's going to be a longer process. We did that with Active Directory tools.
We did, yes, that's right. So there's some examples in some of the videos and the webcasts of how to do some of that. So
Right on.
I gave the point to Shane.
what?
Yeah.
why?
Because you can fire him.
That's exactly right.
The system is rigged.
Whoa, it is rigged.
All right. Hey guys, how do you produce a software compliance report? For example, when Microsoft comes knocking, how do we quickly and easily get a list of all Microsoft applications with numbers of installs of each? Thanks, Chris.
Lock the door. Don't let them in. Okay. And beyond that, so there's already a report out there you can run. So if you go take a look, we have the application counts report. Now, if you want to do this specifically for Microsoft, it's actually pretty easy. I would copy this so that you can have a specific Microsoft report, but you go into filters, go to applications. Then I would go to vendor. Oh, no, version. I think
So close though.
publisher, excuse me, not vendor, contains Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft. Yep, and that's why they pay me the big bucks.
I was about to give you credit for the first time you've typed everything correctly on your first attempt.
Don't ever make that mistake. There's all the Microsoft stuff, so. And again, you can limit it again to specific software, but that we just went off the publisher. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. That's how I do it. Jordan?
I mean, I can't add to that. I will not be getting a point on this one.
Anybody want to try and take my point?
No.
Good.
Oh,
All right.
well, Marcel says use application report, group by, and simplicity. You can search within a existing report.
You can do that too. Yeah.
All right, Lex, congrats. You got a point.
Did
Fine.
Marcel type that, or did I just come up with it off the top of my head? Who knows?
Who knows? Could,
knows?
Could it be? Could it
I'm
be?
literally reading it in the chat. Jordan.
Oh,
Something.
I just want to know how is our. Well, after this.
Don't
how's-
ask us,
Yeah,
Mars.
I'll update you here in a moment. Gentlemen, can inventory publish web-based reports? Would be helpful to send a link to reports or even a way to generate real-time reports via a web interface. Sincerely, R.C. Atalano.
So we don't have web functionality with the existing product. You could send an email to a distribution group that would hit all those people, but that's not.
Well, okay. So here, let's just take a look at our application report real quick. All right. So there's the application report. You want to provide it in a web format and put it on a web server. You actually can save this or have it automatically go out as a. We'll go to auto reports, right? New auto report. You can pick an HTML format, have that written to your web server. So there's our format right there. Check it out. HTML
Look at that.
in your face.
Colby beat you to it.
Shut up, Colby.
We should just have that on a loop.
Colby beat you to it.
Colby beat
But
you
yeah,
to it,
you
Colby,
can do it that way. Just write it the web and then link it that way. So
All right.
Oh, but Colby admits he forgot the HTML as a format option.
No
So
point.
if Colby forgets, is it real?
is it real if Colby forgot? Can it be done?
And now for the existential part of it.
If Colby forgets a question, does the question exist?
Which led me to a music question. Can I just interject this
Hit
really
it,
quick?
hit it.
If Nickelback played in a forest and no one was there to hear them, would they still suck? Anyway,
I
okay.
think the answer to that's who cares.
Yeah.
I thought
Actually,
back
you know,
then-
Doug Stanhope had that in a book. He didn't use Nickelback, but Stanhope in one of his books said, I have performed for no people for no money. So no matter what, I can always at least tie the worst story. And yes, if no one's in the audience, a joke still sucks.
There we go.
So Patton Oswalt
Yeah?
made the point of all they did was they made bad music for money, and people hate them so much for it. People do way worse things for money than just put out bad music.
There's also way worse bands.
Bands. I'm just kidding. Nickelback doesn't really
But
suck.
no, they get the butt of the joke though.
Yeah. And
all
they're,
the time.
All the way
Yeah,
to the
they're
bank.
laughing all the way to the bank.
All
Yeah.
the way to the bank.
All right, gentlemen. Good morning, USA. How can I preview a report for all the pages I'm interested for a single computer like application, CPU, hardware only, and also how to achieve the same for several computers at the same time and export in a simple PDF file or Excel. Regards, GPD German P.
Leave that up for 1 second because I want to make sure I get all the points.
That is a
Multi-layered question.
robust
All right,
question.
So, single computer like application, CPU. Okay. I think I got this.
I'm going to pretend like I got something.
Yeah, that's a good thinker thought there. Thinking. All right, thinker thought. So this is what I like to do with the application report. I think this might help you out. Okay, as you can tell, it's pretty sexy like this, right? Now, what I do is, if you want to do it by computer, you can right-click and group by computer. Okay, there you go. Now I can go and look at computer-specific information, like check out Hugo, right? Personally, application reports I generally group by the application, but that's how you get it by computer, CPU and hardware. You can group any of the reports the way I just did. So again, you group by, find the column you want, hit group by or ungroup. This is how I like to group applications myself.
So when you group it, when you export it, like you say, does it keep the grouping or does it go to, let's export that one.
Let's export it. I don't think the grouping is going to stay.
I don't think so.
However-
That's I think the major issue because he's looking for a print preview is different, but if he's looking to keep the grouping, I'm not so sure.
I'd probably pump that out as an Excel or a CSV file, and I'd do it in Excel here, but we don't have Excel in there, and then you can do the grouping in Excel. So it doesn't keep the grouping on. I do know it does not keep the grouping when you export it. Let's just hit that PDF and do it anyways.
Let's find out.
Desktop.
Yeah.
Shane, you want to try and steal my points, buddy?
No.
All right, PDF.
We assume it doesn't work, but let's prove it.
Let's prove what we probably already know. Good Lord, there's a lot of stuff open.
What did you name it?
Application report. There's the HTML. Where's the PDF of that bad boy? Who maintains this desktop?
I don't know. We're all professionals here.
It's
Yeah.
in that Secret of Life folder.
Did I put it in Secret of Life? Did I really?
No, I don't know. I just saw that and it made me curious what's in there.
Applications. It's probably. Yeah. Oh crap! I'm gonna do it again and put it somewhere else. What? Shut up, man.
We're all professionals.
Right,
Jason.
absolutely professionals. Let's put that on my desktop in the Autobots assembly. There you go. Applications PDF.
I name things horribly.
Yeah, you do.
Like none of that makes
Hey,
sense.
the good thing is I actually saw it and I can find it now. So Autobots assembly.
It's a bold claim.
Applications PDF.
Oh, so just
there it
puts
is. It just has the.
So it was the one you pointed at.
So it did group it, but you don't have any of the detail. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now you know. You can group it that way.
That is one way to not help you.
That is, yeah. Wow.
So if for the print,
I guess if you expand it all, we could do that, right?
well, so the print preview
Yeah.
itself of how can you view it, this works great. It's when you want to start sharing this out where it doesn't work natively.
Okay, let's see. Full expand, and now I do
giving
it,
it
but
a
it's
go?
going to be kind of sexy now, right? Desktop, Autobots assemble. At least I know where that is. Autobots assemble. Yeah, replace it. And let's see that bad boy now. I learned something today. I should get extra points for learning.
Don't push it.
Well,
I don't
gotta
even
make
ask-
the play. Gotta make
don't
the
even
play.
ask for points. I know
Check
what
it
I'm
out. Boom.
Look at that.
There you go. Expand it before you export it.
It's grouped by software though, not by computer name. So even though
Don't dilute the fact I'm going to get points here just because I did it.
I'm just fascinated by that because you grouped it by computer name.
No,
and then,
I grouped it by application. See?
Oh, did you?
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then I don't know what I'm talking about.
There you go. I
You
didn't
gave me too
actually
much
answer his
Scotch.
question the way he wanted it, but give you the idea. So, all right, enough mumbling about that.
We could ramble forever without providing actual solutions.
That was a solid 7-minute question.
There you go, for nothing. Let's give you a point update. It looks like Lex is currently in the lead with 4 points, followed by Jordan with 2, Shane with 2, Colby and the viewers 1. That's a shocker. And Jake with 1. Well
You
done,
guys
Jake.
look out. I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Well, we
done.
learned a valuable lesson. Since Colby and the viewers are just in the chat, if we just don't acknowledge it, they get no
They
points.
get no points. I like that.
So we just
The other thing is, if I take the I've been on the webcast longer and get to answer first approch, should get some points.
claim
Right?
seniority.
I'm going to have to claim it somewhere because it ain't happening anywhere else, man.
I was too busy drinking to see. That is correct, Frank. Too busy drinking to see the grouping.
All right.
And that's why I'm really winning the webcast.
Next question. Guys, other users keep dragging packages and categories accidentally. Is there any way I can lock them in place, or do I just need to keep thumping the users on the head until they quit? Sincerely, Dougie Fresh K.
Doug K. So violence is always an answer in my world, but
With the server client, you can put it in your own private folder, but then if they need to be able to use those, they would lose that. So that's if it's one where there's your individual packages, you don't want to share those out. An individual folder would work for that.
Yeah.
If it's one where they need to be able to use it, we don't have a way to prevent that.
I was going to say that I should have had seniority on that.
Well, unfortunately, with seniority came slow thinking.
I represent that statement.
As he takes a
He takes a deep.
sharp
Are you gonna narrate now, Jake?
That was a punctuation drink.
The anger seethes from his eyes toward Lex as he ingests his scotch.
Well done on. I'm giving a point to Jordan.
I'd flex, but I don't have muscles.
I'm giving you the death stare.
Riley.
Feature request of lock view, Marcel says. But he has so many feature requests. Stop trying to improve us.
All right, next question. Gentlemen, what is the best way to keep browsers patched without disrupting users? Sincerely, Austin.
Now, first of all, Austin, we need to address the fact that you're trying to be nice to your end users. That's the real problem here.
They are
not patching.
They're garbage.
That is a little further than I was going to go, but okay.
I'm just going to pipe in. Most browsers are allow you to patch while it's still running, and then it will load that at a restart. So the best way, I mean, it just depends on. There is no best way. There's a best way for each environment. If you really don't want to disrupt your users by having them restart their browser, then you could have the scheduled deployment go out, update the browser, and then if you know a window of time where that user is not around, you could have a schedule go out, like perhaps a schedule that goes out that says restart these browsers if no one's logged on, or if the computer is or in a locked state or something like that. Then you could do that. That's probably, or just honestly, at night you could have a schedule to reboot the computers, but. Most browsers have been able to accommodate that for a while. I'd be interested to know if you're seeing something different.
So as the chat points out, our update automatically disables the browsers from auto-updating. But when you deploy that, they won't see that until they close the browser. So if you're looking to not interrupt the users, updating on its own shouldn't do it. Other than they'll get the pop-up of, hey, there's a new update, you should close.
It's interesting, Chad B is saying they're getting complaints on Firefox ESR 91. Firefox changed several years ago to allow you to update whilst, even on their ESR, whilst running. So that might be a problem with 91. But don't forget, there are some really cool conditions and options to say don't install if like a user is logged on. Or et cetera, et cetera. You utilize those, but I would, if you don't want to do what Lex does and just thump the users over the head, to quote previous question, there's ways you can do it gently.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say full contact IT. Really.
I'm curious about the Firefox. I'm actually going to talk to the packaging team just because. The goal is, especially where Firefox made it possible, is for
seamless,
be able to do it in the background and the next time they restart. So if that's not happening, I think that's an issue with the package we need to look at. So we'll definitely talk to them and see if they've seen that or if there's a workaround.
That is the cheapest ploy to get a point I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't want a point.
That's even cheaper.
When you're this great, do you need points?
Do you need points? Yeah.
I'm just sitting here with my Yuga doll.
Man.
Okay. Shane gets the point.
After all that,
Shane gets the point. Dear party people, anyone have an SQL report for finding duplicate computer descriptions? Say one has Mr. User and another has Mr. User New. Sincerely, Charles O.
I'm going to say, I think Stephanie answered that earlier, so in the chat, but that would be a SQL statement, wouldn't it? Or group by.
That would be you could do a group by.
Yeah.
It's a group by having count greater than 1 is one way to do it. You could also use coalesce if you want, but the coalesce just returns the first non-null, and then so you'd have to have multiple coalesce depending on how many descriptions you think might exist out there. But really, it's just the group by having count greater than 1.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, here we go. Next question. Are you guys ever going to create RBAC roles so we can separate access for server admins and desktop support? That issue is sharing first place with need for enterprise logging from our infosec group, Andrew H.
I do know that this is probably one of the most requested things with the server.
Absolutely. It is definitely most requested, and I will say we have taken that into consideration, and we are working on a solution for you guys.
These ones are tough because we can't give anything definitive. Like the more specific we get, the more angry.
The more we get a group meeting us afterwards going, why did you commit to stuff you don't know about? So I do know they're working on it. Yeah. It is being worked on.
So we know also our answer is vague, but we're locked into vague until we get closer to our next solution.
Yeah. I would say this, though. I have found you can do... No, never. That's not going to work. Never mind.
It was a nice
thought. It was a short thought for points, but yeah, never mind.
Okay, dear Lex, Jordan, and Shane, my Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and Mozilla Firefox deployment packages have a warning on them that says the remote server returned an error 401 unauthorized. Any advice? AHPLW.
So if it's happening for all browsers, that one feels like a support ticket.
Okay, the warning on the package itself? I'm a little bit lost. Or if the deployment gives an error?
If the deployment gives an error like that, then are you sure it's not on other packages besides browsers? Or if it's strictly those browsers? That one I think more information
support ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something deeper at play than just your browsers.
There's the advantage of support ticket of everyone over there is smarter than us.
That is true.
And also they can dive into information that we can't to help.
And they're better looking than us too, so yeah.
Let's see, Colby...
No points, by the way.
No, Colby copied the link to
Colby
the answer.
gets the point.
There's a link about remote server returned an error 401 unauthorized.
Which means this would go for all packages, not just those browsers. Mm-hmm. So listing the browsers could be kind of I'm not saying that this was intended, but you start focusing too much on the browsers in this case, and that's actually a red herring. This appears to be for all packages.
Yeah,
all right, we'll give Colby the point.
And that's why we don't draw attention to the chat.
All right, next question. Hey guys, I need to deploy an updated text file, SketchUp Activation info, same name, same location as the old file. How can I track which computers still have the old text file and need to be updated? Can I inventory the date of the text file? Other ideas? Thanks, Chad B.
Now you can do under conditions, you can go check the file conditions, and the file conditions should have version, date modified, those kind of things. So you can say if the modified date is, previous to, say, today, if you were pushing it out today, and then you could actually replace that file. So yeah, there are definitely ways you can do that. I would look under, put a condition in under that copy step, yeah, and do it that way.
Well, or there's, it's not native, but you could use a PowerShell. You could use PowerShell to actually read the data file to look for what you want. But that's not a native feature. You'd have to script that.
All right. Next question. Gentlemen, when a vendor releases new software, e.g. a new version of Firefox, how quickly is that added to PDQ Deploy's package library, and what testing does the PDQ team do before making the package available in the library? Kathleen F.
There's quite a lot of testing. So how quickly is, I guess, short answer, we try to do it as fast as possible, but there are certain packages that are considered critical where we try to get those as fast as possible. But amount of testing, I can say once it's available, we download that, we build the new package with the new install file, we install it on a bunch of machines, and through the process we make sure that the hash file has not changed for security purposes. And they test that it does install quickly and that it does work once it does install. and that the hash file from when the time we got the install file from the product to when it's in the package library has not been modified.
When I was building packages, it was always basic functionality. So I'd make sure that on a new install as well as an upgrade that the application would open and just to have basic functionality. Absolutely do not go through all the features of each version of each application. We just check to make sure it deploys, it opens. At least what I deploys, opens, can do some basic functionality, depending on what the application is, and not return, not crap out. But that's pretty much. I was speaking for me, and that was a while ago when I built packages.
We do have an automated process that does go check those. So it's not like someone's waiting to go look for it. The process checks, and then, something new shows up, the rest of the process gets spawned off of that. So
yeah. So as far as the security, we don't do a deep dive into like if they have an exploit in there, but we do make sure that it does work for both a fresh install and upgrade when it's in there, and then we are very sure that what we put out in the package library is the same file as what was put by the software company.
All right. It looks like it is time for the final question of the day, your final opportunity to garner points. Are we ready?
I just want to know, do I have to answer it? Am I far enough ahead?
It's close.
Oh,
it's
dang it.
really
Okay.
close.
Answer it if you can.
All right.
Okay.
I was gonna, sit back on my points if possible. But, okay, what do we got?
All right, here we go. Hi. Regarding the Reboot Required Workstations collection in PDQ Inventory, I'm seeing entries listed that are barely up for 24 after a reboot. Windows updates aside, can you give some insight on what drives when a workstation gets listed as Reboot Required? Sincerely, Keith K.
Now that's pulled from the registry, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sure.
Colby's answered it, but
From a couple
we've got
places.
Hanks wrote an article on where the keys that we look for, and yes, there are vendors out there that keep persistent values in there that we kind of have to exclude. So every now and then we have to touch that up. But there's several keys that Microsoft has set apart and sanctified for. If there's a value in here, then a reboot is needed. So we basically scan that during an inventory scan.
Yeah, so if we go to the screen share, I just brought up the article that Colby linked. It's these three locations are the main ones we're looking at, where it will specify whether it needs a reboot or not. Looks like, I don't know, going into each one seems like no one's going to be able to follow anyway, but that's the article there. If you did search for PDQ.com and Reboot Required, that's one of the first links. You click on that and it will let you track that down.
Yeah, and if you find one in your environment that does have we do use this application and it's always got something in there, by all means let us know and we can verify that and put it in the next version to just say if you see this, it's not what you think it is, and exclude it so that it doesn't report falsely.
All right. Shane point?
No, actually, it's a Colby point.
Yeah, he was very fast on that one.
He was really quick on that one. But
Oh yeah, he was fast.
Just bam. So actually, we have one question that just came in. Or do you want a bonus?
Put it on. Bring it on.
Okay.
This could change everything.
This could change everything.
And here we go. Hi from the land of Scotch, or whiskey as we call it here. Is there anything in the pipeline for a cloud-based PDQ solution so that remote users not on VPN can be scanned and deployed to? Thanks, Stephen.
That question has never been asked before.
Never.
I don't think. Yeah, I've never seen that one.
I know
Are
that
you going to jump on the question? Okay.
we are very aware that this is a extreme need.
That is true.
It's another one where we can't go into details because we get mean
They're aggressively
emails.
working on this right
Yes.
now.
We're working on solutions. We know that there are some things within the product that don't, basically satisfy the needs of all of our users. And so we have been doing a lot of research. There may actually be users and customers on this webcast that have chatted with some of our people internally. We are getting a lot of feedback, and we're working on some things that really are going to make the product much more useful in a lot of different ways.
That's a Kelly point.
I agree. That's Kelly.
And a Stephen M. point for spelling whiskey correctly.
All right. Well, before I announce the totals, one thing I do want to bring up, Spice World, we are going to be there. It's happening the end of the month, the 27th through the 29th. It's virtual this year, and we will have a virtual booth, and we want to invite everyone to come stop by virtually and have a virtual beverage, I guess.
The other thing that's going to be kind of cool is, if possible, we're going to try and do our virtual booth from the studio, if we can pull that off.
Yeah.
So that should be kind of cool. You guys should recognize it. And that I'll be there. Hanks will be there. Should be a good time.
Yeah.
Be there, guys. We want to rock it. Have the most attended, virtual session there. So.
All right, here we go. We'll start out with the low, Jake, with 1 point.
I'm just happy to be here.
I had a point too.
That makes one of us, Jake.
This one, I don't know. Colby and the viewers, we gave them 3. I think they probably had more. We just
Oh yeah, we tanked him big time.
we just
No,
didn't.
no. We're
No?
not.
Okay.
No.
I think Colby
don't-
preemptively wins.
I don't mind admitting it at all. We ignored the chat aggressively.
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
Get these
Okay, there we
points.
go.
Shane came on with 4 points. Well done, Shane, from the Phone a Friend
Do
desk.
you realize it's down to you and me?
Ooh.
Okay, I bet you $1 it's me.
I don't have that kind of money, man.
Okay.
All right, and our runner-up today is Jordan with 5 points, meaning Lex wins.
Yes, we need to mark
6
this
points.
on the calendar because
Yes,
I think
we
it's
do.
the only time I've ever won.
Well done.
Only time.
I think it was that second large pour you gave Jordan that knocked him out of the
You know-
competition.
The strategy paid off, and I respect it. And also, I'm still drinking.
You're feeling good about that strategy, are you?
And as Frank pointed out in the chat earlier, he liked that I have my pinky out. I didn't realize I put my pinky out,
You were totally.
but apparently I do that. So I'm very fancy.
Jay Davis in chat says you need a $1 raise, Jordan. Your yearly salary will go up $1.
I like
You
it.
know, I'll take it.
All right. Camera 2.
Are we? That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Thanks for tuning in. We love PDQ and A. It's the most interaction we get with
Yeah,
the viewers.
it's so
These
much
are
fun, guys.
awesome.
Thank you guys for playing along.
For
Kids
PDQ.com.
playing along today, yeah.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Lex, PDQ.com.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Michael V. and John T., winners of PDQ swag. Please send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here again next week.